At this time of year, as an NFL GM, how do you balance what you need in free agency versus the draft, and how do you approach that relative to building out a roster?
Well, a lot of it just is team building, right? You can only get certain things from the draft, and you can't find that in free agency. It's hard to find quarterbacks in free agency. It's hard to find, great defensive rush ends in free agency. Typically, they don't make it to the market. Rarely does a player like Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins, 10 sacks, can play the run really well, make it to the market. But then it becomes very expensive. So you have to have a team philosophy, right? You got to draft offensive and defensive linemen. You got to find the quarterback in the draft, and then you got to pick the pieces, and you've got to do a good job of economically valuing the talent that's out there as it relates to your salary cap and what you believe you need. So it's a combination. They work in concert together, but the nucleus of your team has to come from the draft.
And I would imagine it's got to be developed. It's not like, boy, we're drafting these guys, they're ready to go. And so is there a degree of patience as well?
Yeah. Player development requires it. Look, everybody gets so excited about the draft, but let's be clear. Last year's draft will have more impact on the Browns team in 24 than the 24 draft will. It's just human nature, especially when you're picking in the 20s and you're picking lower and you have a good team. It's harder to make a team. And so what you have to do is have that player developed. And so by November and December, when you really need the young player to take a giant step forward, they're ready to go.